Hey, if you're a solar installer in the UK and you've ever considered using a marketing agency, be that paid or free, this video is for you to show you how you can protect yourself from potentially making a mistake. Who am I? My name is Michael Brown. I'm the director of Solar Scale UK. We've personally worked with and scaled over 25 installers to an additional £250,000 in annual turnover, and we've seen the insides of over 300 solar installation companies in the UK. So this video is going to be a quick one, and it's going to tell you how you can potentially stop yourself from making a mistake where you previously would have or otherwise thought there's actually nothing that can go wrong here. I've had so many conversations with people this week and last week telling me how they got burned by a marketing agency, but there was no upfront fee. There was no cost. It was performance only. They'll manage to spend. What could go wrong? Now, there's actually a lot more at stake here than you might think. Yeah, sure, you're not going to blow $2,000 a month on a marketing agency retainer, but what you're doing is you're handing over your business capital that's supposed to be used to grow the business to essentially someone who either A, has no experience and maybe is honest about that and tells you, hey, I actually don't know what I'm doing here, but I won't charge you anything for it and I'll learn as I go. Or you're handing it over to someone who has experience, but they know that they're not worth very much. And so you're actually looking for someone who knows that they're shit at the job. So sure, you can protect yourself by asking for some sort of revenue share, and that's generally a good idea so that you can see that they're invested in your business too. However, if that's all that's at stake, you might have to ask yourself, why does this person not charge anything? Is it because they're learning? Or is it because that they actually don't know they're worth very much? So be careful. Now, there are people out there who are going to say to you, look, we charge you commission only because, we're invested in your business. We know that we only make money when you make money. And that logic does work in other industries. But in this industry, really what that means is, hey, I don't want to deal with you calling me up saying, hey, give me that $2,000 back. They really just want a chance to do well. And they are essentially free rolling the success with your spend. If you think about it, there's nothing up front there. There's no risk for these guys. It's, hey, I'll manage your budget. And if by some miracle you get an install, well, solar's very high ticket. I'll take a piece of that. Maybe I'll make $1,000, right? So they're essentially getting free rolls of the roulette wheel by having you as a client. And you don't want that. You don't want to be the ball in the roulette wheel. And that's essentially what you are when you pick someone who is free, completely free. So I'm going to tell you one story that I heard last week of someone who had this happen to them. They were interested in using Solar Scale, the machine. By the way, just as a side note, if you want us to come and build out an automated sales system for you where you don't even have to lift your finger to call the phone, you just want installs, no calls, just installs, then click the link below. There'll be a link to go and check out how that works. But essentially, we just put your sales on autopilot. But anyway, back to the story. I was speaking to someone about this last month, and they decided that, well, because they'd already committed to letting someone try, they'd already committed to a no upfront fee, commission only job from a marketing agency. Because they're a man of their word, they will let the company try, essentially. And if in a month's time things didn't go well, then we could speak again. So before I got off the phone with them, I told them, look, completely understand you're a man of your word, and essentially I hope we don't speak again because I hope it goes well for you. But what I will say is just one last word of caution, one last piece of advice, is that on average, 5 or 6 people have burnt these guys when they come to us. When we speak to someone, they've been burned by 5 or 6 different people. Now that's a variation. It's a variety of retainers, commission onlys, wasted ad spend, all of these things. But essentially, just because someone has called you up, given you a cold call, says, look, we don't make a single penny unless you make a penny, it doesn't mean they get really good results. All it means is they're rolling the roulette wheel with your budget. And I said to this guy, look, we'll touch base in a month. If it's not gone well, then, we'll fix it for you. And I actually got a call from him 3 weeks later, like, look, you were completely right. We had 3 weeks of setup, then a week of running ads, no leads through. I had installers lined up, no jobs came in. It was a nightmare. Like, please fix it for me. Now, I'm not saying this as a, hi, I told you so, right? Because I really wished in many ways that I was not correct. But the thing is, that's just where the market is right now. And it has been like this for 2 years. You know, you have people who are trying to sell you to give you a retainer and they give you shit results. And you also have people who have no experience who say, hey, take no retainer, who will just roll a roulette wheel with your ad spend, who get you shit results. And you also have people who are slightly more experienced, but they know that they're not delivering a good enough service to consistently generate an ROI for you to keep you on retainer. So they charge you commission only as well, right? Think about it. If they charge you a retainer and say it's $2,000 a month, but they, plus ad spend, but they only get you one sale a month, it's actually not really worth it because you're spending more than you're getting in, right? And that's another reason why someone will go commission only, because they know that return on investment wise, they don't deliver a good enough performance. So I just want to use this quick video to caution you that when you're deciding who to use, the lens of who will not charge me anything up front, whilst in principle and in theory it's smart and it works, it doesn't actually work out as simply as that. So just be very, very careful, even if they say it's commission only. Don't let that fool you, and be very, very conscious that what would it look like if I wasted 3 months of business growth? Okay, fine, I'm not paying a retainer, but what would it look like if I wasted 1 month, 2 months of actually growing the business? Because 1 month of moving nowhere and wasting money on ads there's so much hidden cost there, because a month of wasting time and just spending ad spend for nothing in return, you're actually losing, say, $50,000 a month if you could have been installing 5 installs a month. And that's really what you should be thinking of, the lens through which you should be viewing this decision, okay? If I don't find the right person, I'm losing X per month, $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, whatever your target volume is, that's how much you're spending every single month. That's how much you're losing every single month by not being able to find someone who can deliver that for you. So don't be fooled by thinking there's not really anything that can go wrong here, because there is.